A really good way to add variety to your strumming patterns is with alternate bass notes. I showed how to play alternate bass in another video. In this video, we're going to go over a whole bunch of chords and talk about which notes you can use as alternate bass notes. I'm going to demonstrate this with the boom chick pattern, so before we get to those alternate bass notes, let's go over that boom chick. Here's your basic boom chick on E minor. So boom chick, boom chick, boom chick, with my boom as a bass note and the chick as the strum. Remember, if you're playing a 6-string chord, your bass is going to be the 6th string. So for that E minor chord, 6 and then strum. A G chord is also a 6-string chord, so again, 6th string is our bass. For a 5-string chord like the C, your 5th string will be your bass. And for a 4-string chord like the D7, the 4th string is going to be your bass. You can add variety to that boom chick pattern with alternate bass notes. I'll show you this on an E minor. So what I'm doing here is I'm playing the regular bass note on beat 1 and then some other bass note on beat 3. And we're strumming in between. So we have our bass and our alternate, bass and alternate. For the rest of this video, we're going to look at alternate bass notes for some common chords. Before we get to those, I want to mention that I've got some free downloads for you. If you check the description below, you'll find a link to my free downloads page. Of course, you can download anything on that page that you want, but you may especially be interested in the Open Chord Diagrams PDF and the Rhythm Guitar Reference PDF. The Open Chord Diagram PDF is a page of chords to help get you started, and the Rhythm Guitar Reference has a bunch of chords plus tons of strumming and fingerstyle patterns. All right, let's check out some alternate bass notes, starting with some A chords. For the A major chord, or A, you can strum string 5 as your main bass note and string 4 as your alternate. So that would be 5 and 4, 5 and 4. 5 and 6 also sounds pretty good, so make sure that 5 is your main bass string and 6 is your alternate. 5 and 6. And any alternate bass you can do on an A chord, you can also do with A7. So again, with A7, you could do 5 and 4. Or 5 and 6. And A minor as well, 5 and 4. Or 5 and 6. For the B7, I usually like to do 5 and 4. 5 and 4. So string 5 is your main bass note because it's a 5-string chord, and 4 is your alternate. 5 and 4. You could also play 5 and 6. If you do play bass notes on 5 and 6, you're also going to have to move your left hand finger 2 to string 6, fret 2, for your alternate bass note. So notice how my second finger is moving back and forth. So that's another way you could do alternate bass on B7. For the C chord, you can do 5 and 6. And for this one, you're also going to have to move a finger back and forth. So check out my third finger. I'm going to do string 5 as my main bass note. When I move to string 6, my third finger also moves to the 3rd fret on 6th string. That's the way I usually play alternate bass on the C. You can also do 5 and 4. If you do 5 and 4, you don't have to move any left-hand fingers. C7, same thing. 5 and 6, just like on the C, and again moving finger 3 back and forth. And just as with the C, you could also play strings 5 and 4. Make sure that 5 is your main bass note on beat 1. For the D chord, string 4 is going to be your main bass note and string 5 is your alternate. 4, 5, 4, 5. D7, same thing. String 4 is your main bass note, string 5 is your alternate. And probably not a big surprise, D minor, same thing. 4 and 5. 4 is your main bass note, 5 is your alternate. For your E chord, string 6 is your main bass note, and 5 is your alternate. 6 and 5. And again, you want to make sure you play your main bass note on beat 1. E7, of course, you can also do 6 and 5. And E minor, you can play 6 and 5. For the small F chord, the 4-string F chord, you can do strings 4 and 5, and as with the C and the B7 that I showed you, you're going to have to move a finger back and forth. In this case, it's going to be your 3rd finger, moving between strings 4 and 5 on the 3rd fret. So 4, and then 5 with my left-hand finger moving. And for the full bar F, it'll be strings 6 and 5. So 6 and 5, 6 and 5. For the G chords, I like to use 6 and 4. So here's G major, so 6, and I skip over a string for my alternate bass and play 4. 6 and 4. You could also do 6 and 5. And sometimes I use that, but to me the 6 and 4 has a stronger bass feel to it. G7, same thing, 6 and 4. Or 6 and 5. And again, I usually like to play 6 and 4. Alternate bass notes aren't just for boom chick patterns. You can use them with plenty of other patterns as well. Here's a few just to give you some ideas. If you're in 3/4 time, you can play alternate bass with the boom chick chick pattern. I'll play this on a C chord. And you can add alternate bass to any fingerstyle pattern. I'll use our Pima pattern. Now that pattern is in 4/4 time. You can also use 3/4 time. Basically, you can use alternate bass notes in any pattern as long as you're playing individual bass notes and not just strumming all the time. And if you're looking for strumming or fingerstyle patterns, you might want to check out some of my other videos where I go over strumming and fingerstyle patterns in 3/4 time and in 4/4 time. That's all for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time with more guitar tips.